Recorded Books and RB Digital present Redeeming Grace by Eileen Smith. Narrated by Coleen Marlo. Part 1. In the days when the judges ruled, there was a famine in the land, and a man of Bethlehem in Judah went to sojourn in the country of Moab, he and his wife and his 2 sons. The name of the man was Elimelech, and the name of his wife Naomi, and the names of his 2 sons were Marlo and Coleen. They were Ephrathites from Bethlehem in Judah. They went into the country of Moab and remained there. Ruth, chapter 1, verses 1 and 2. Chapter 1, 1297 BC. Naomi lifted the hem of her robes as her feet fairly flew down Bethlehem streets toward the outskirts of town. Netta, second wife of her brother-in-law Melech, trailed 2 steps behind. The sun beat high overhead, its rays licking the sweat along her brow. Some of the townswomen who were not inside their homes resting at this hour hurried to catch up with her. "What is it?" one of them shouted, breathless. "Please, Naomi, slow down." The voices included Netta's, and Naomi realized the woman could not run nearly as fast as she, especially when something urgent beckoned. Memories of childhood races with her brother surfaced, but she stopped the smile such thoughts always evoked. This was not a time to smile. She slowed her steps and glanced behind her. Boaz's wife, Addie, is in trouble. She turned and kept running, shouting as she went, "I'm going to see if I can help." The heat made breathing difficult, but she pressed on. Surely Gilla and Leora and the midwife should have delivered Addie of the child by now. Surely Netta was wrong. But the fear in her gut would not abate. She came to the edge of the village where Boaz's house spread along the wall that bordered his vast fields inherited from his highly respected father, Salmon, the spy who had helped capture Jericho. As Naomi stopped before the great doors and rapped on the wood, memories surfaced again of Boaz's parents, Salmon and Rahab. Netta drew up beside her, her breath coming fast. "Please, Adonai, blessed be your name. Let Addie live." How Boaz doted on his wife who had remained barren for so long, had waited even when his sisters Gilla and Leora suggested he take a second wife. And now, surely the Creator would not give the woman life in her womb only to steal hers in return. The door opened before Naomi could ponder that thought, and the 2 women were ushered into the cool interior of the limestone house. She wiped the sweat from her brow, not allowing the servant even a moment to wash their feet. "Take me to her," she commanded, forcing the rising panic to remain hidden. The servant led them down a long hallway to a room Naomi recognized as having once belonged to Rahab. The memories rushed through her again. So many days of helping care for Rahab during her failing health, and so soon after Boaz had lost his father. Please, Adonai, don't put Boaz through such grief again. Though she had been a young, inexperienced bride herself at the time, she came. Elimelech was Salmon's cousin after all, and family came first, no matter how awkward she felt or how useless she seemed. Anyone could carry water or grind flour or bake bread. Perhaps she would find that was all she could do now for Addie or her child. But one look into the darkened room stopped her short. The acrid scent of blood and sweat assaulted her. Female servants stood immobile along the wall while Gilla and Leora helped a weak, fragile Addie to her bed. The midwife stood in a corner, holding an unmoving bundle. Naomi blinked, adjusting to the lack of bright sunlight, her heart constricting, blood draining from her limbs. Netta touched her arm as the 2 took in the scene. Addie's body grew limp, and it took both of Boaz's sisters to settle her among the cushions. "It's all right, Addie," Gilla said softly. "Come, let us clean you up and you can rest." Naomi glanced at the midwife, then grabbed a stack of blankets and carried them to the courtyard to heat them over the fire. Once the blankets were warmed, she hurried into the room again and handed them to Netta. "Make sure she is warm enough." She whirled about and faced the useless servants. "Find some broth. Surely there is some left from last night's stew, and bring it quickly." They hurried to obey while she turned her attention to Addie. She touched Gilla's arm.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?